Good afternoon. This Pride Time activity could either be going out to juniors late in their junior year or seniors in the fall. Either way, I think would be fairly efficient and timely. Today's activity, what we're going to do is we are going to go through a UW system application, which about half of the class will do by the time they get towards graduation. And we are also going to go through a UW Technical College application, which is a little bit shorter. So we'll have two screencasts to get through those two things. The first screencast will be the UW system application. Do know that if you get the screencast as a student, if I put that in Google Classroom and you get the screencast, I'm not sure if we'll be able to do that or not. Screencast, the version I use, Screencast-O-Matic, you have to download to play. So if you want to play it back, you have to download it to play. You can't just click the button. There's a little download process. Also, we're doing the UW system application, as I said, and the Tech College application today. Two separate screencasts for those who are saying, hey, I'm not going to school or I'm going to a private school. Do know those who are looking at a private school, they will ask very similar questions at the private universities as they do at the UW system. So we'll go through the UW system application, some things that are involved in that, so you have that mastered. And like I said, if I'm able to, I will put it into your Google Classroom, and you'll have access to that indefinitely if that's the case. So first off, UW system application for you guys. First, three things have to happen probably before you even start the application. I do understand that half the class who's taken a CAP class for credit has already done this. Things will be pre-populated. Things will be very quick and very easy, but there still is a little bit of work to do. Anyway, going through the whole process of the UW system application, the first thing you're going to do is log in. So if I click the login button, you may have to create an account. If you haven't done so yet, like I said, half who've done CAP things have an account already, and we just log in. My suggestion to you then is they're going to have a lot of little things that you go through here on the application. My suggestion is to do two things before you even start the application. That way you can do the app in one sitting without getting stumped or caught on anything, having to text mom for an answer or something like that. There are some questions they're going to ask you before this thing is done, especially in the residency section. The questions they're going to ask you, they have UW Oshkosh very nicely put a sheet together on questions that may stump you. For instance, they're going to ask you when your parents last voted, things like that. And you can say, I don't have a clue where my parents last voted. Well, they're going to ask it. So if you're going to get through the application, any of these questions, these are on Google Classroom as well. I put those on your Google Classroom so you can see them ahead of time. What I do is I'd scan this sheet, and if there's 2 or 3 questions on this sheet you don't know the answer to, ask your parents what the answers are, so when you get to the time of doing the app, you can just cruise. As I did say, I do have all the links. I have the link to the UW system app, the link to the Stumper questions right here, and another link down below. The third link that I have, besides going through the possible Stumpy questions, is they have what they call application essays. Now, the application essays are fairly simple, but they take a little bit of time. So what they're looking for is 3 good solid paragraphs, so maybe a page or a tiny bit less on each question. That's what they tell us every year when we go to a meeting. And what you're going to find is everybody's going to have to answer this one question right here. And this is also in Google Classroom, so you don't have to worry if I click too fast and you didn't write it down or anything like that. Everyone's going to have to answer this question right here. Tell us about your academic and personal achievements. What have you learned from your successes and or challenges? And how will this influence you as you pursue your college education? Every school in the UW system is going to have that. And then some schools have an additional one. And these are all listed right here. So you can prepare yourself ahead of time. Some schools do not have an additional question. So what I would do before I even start the app, I would go through the Stumpy questions, make sure you can answer them, because you don't want to get caught halfway through if you don't have to. And I'd also go through and put my essay into a doc or into a Word document or something like that, run it through Grammarly, take care to do well, take care to spell well, and all those things. This is your one shot making a first impression, so don't shortcut it. Take the 5 more minutes and get it right on the essay part of it. like I said, use Grammarly, whatever you have to do that. So I do those things first and then get into the application. So I guess getting back into the Udemy system application, I'm going to show you what we have. I have one started under Udemy Oshkosh, and a lot of you know this already. A lot of you have done this. So I'm not telling the CAP people a whole lot they don't already know, but just some things to be aware of. There are a lot of sections on the application, probably about 10 sections, and then you submit it. The application will cost about $50, so that'll be a part that you pay at the end. If you're on free and reduced lunch, please do not pay the $50. You can get a fee waiver from me, and you fill out a part, I fill out a part, and you save yourself the $50. To be honest, if you're on free and reduced lunch, what the heck, apply everywhere because it's free. You can apply to as many as you want. I can get fee waivers for as many as you do want. So that's just a little bit of information. But as we go through, the first part is going to be personal information. Most of these things are really easy, but like anything in cyberspace, they can get caught, and you get that nasty grab that says you can't go to the next page, so you have to do things right. What I would say is make sure, and mine is wrong right now, make sure that you do things with your full official legal names. Okay, so for instance, I have Jeff Vandehei in here. That would not be right. I need to put Jeffrey in here. I have to. Because if I'm applying in the Udemy system and I have Jeff, that doesn't attach to my social security number, so when they do matching information, maybe I don't get financial aid. All matching information is based on your social security number. Your ACT score goes to that. Your financial aid goes to that. So whatever it says on your social security number is what you should have here. So I should have Jeffrey A. Vandehei. That should be my deal. And I'm not going to put a suffix in there. And I also didn't have a previous name. That just auto filled from something else. A previous name, the reason they have that option there is because maybe you were married once, twice, whatever. So here I am, a 53-year-old. On this sheet of paper, I'm a 53-year-old high school senior. So that's just the way it is. So my page goes through. The first part's pretty easy. Just name and where you were born. You do have to know where you were born and put in your social security number. You do have to have that. It's a matching information piece. So you get through that, and on the bottom it's going to say check for errors and continue. You're going to move on to the next piece. That should be easy, but as we've learned in cyberspace, sometimes things that should be easy maybe are not. So I'm going to go on to the address section. Address section caught me a little bit here because what's going to catch us that never caught us before is so many things autofill. If you've done things on your home computer in the autofill, and sometimes an autofill will catch you. The one that caught me was, for whatever reason, I have all this information incorrectly. I'm in Calumet County in Wisconsin. I put in the school as my home address because why not? And what happened when I put in in the very beginning, when I put in my email address, something autofilled into the United States under other state or province, and it blocked me about 3 times. So, but if you run into a mistake, this is just address. If you run into a mistake, there'll be something on the top that tells you what the mistake is and give you an error signal. So first part's name, address, pretty simple stuff. You do have to know your social security number in those first 2 pages to move on. So if you don't know it, find it out from mom or dad before you go in, and then you can move on. So, okay, so here we are, moving on after sections 1 and 2, and we won't belabor this a real long time. It tells me my address was not found in the database, just because I have to confirm it's correct that county HR is tough to recognize. They don't recognize this county HR thing, but that is indeed our address at school. It is a real address. Cyberspace is saying I'm not so sure, so they're fighting me on this one. Okay, let's see if I can get through this time, or I might have to do this whole screencast over. Confirm address. Check for errors and continue. Let's see if they let me through. Finally, okay, they let me through now. Okay, so as we get to that, then it's going to ask you if you had a high school diploma. we are anticipating a high school diploma. You're not doing anything in a GED program, but you are enrolled in high school, so it's a yes, high school diploma. Check for errors, we move on. And we will quickly, I'm not going to go through every single thing on this. Expected date of graduation for the class of 2019 is going to be June of 2019. We're keeping you guys around until June 2nd in 2019. And they're going to ask if you attended any other high schools. That's just if you're a transfer. You're probably not a transfer, so don't worry about that. Okay, and the last section we're going to go through here today, just to make sure you guys are off to a good start on this, is it's going to ask you next, list all the institutions of higher education that you've previously attended and put them in here. And what's going to happen is, if you've taken an AP class, don't worry about it. AP is not an institute of higher education. Don't worry about these other three things, letters you didn't do, Project Lead the Way, or International Baccalaureate, or CLEP. I'm almost sure nobody's done that. So if you did not take a CAP, 4 credits, you put I have no institutions of higher education report. The place that we would have something to put down is if you have a Fox Valley Tech class that's for credit, like machining is one for credit, Chem 2 is one that's for credit. If you have one that you're getting credit at Fox Valley Tech, Technical Math 1 would be one. Fox Valley Tech has a few classes, or if you have CAP that's UW Oshkosh, you're going to put those in. So if I took an Oshkosh class, I've got to hit the edit button, and it's going to say institution of higher education. Where is this place? Well, I took a class in the United States, obviously. Oshkosh is in Wisconsin, and it's going to ask me what city, and I'm going to have to put Oshkosh. Even though we took it at Brillion, we're going to put Oshkosh because that's where the school's at. You take a class. If you took a Fox Valley Tech class, you put Appleton. You took a CAP, we're going to say University of Wisconsin Oshkosh. Yeah, we've got it. Attendance dates, people get all whacked out about this. It's not all that complicated. If you've taken one, you're taking one your senior year, you're going to say 09, 2018 is when it's going to start, because we don't start school until September. And because school ends in June, you can either put 5 or 6. Don't care if it's a year-long class. 5 or 6 will suffice, and that's 2019. Number of credits earned. You should know that, otherwise I can know that, or your teacher can know that. I know one of the CAP pre-calc is 5 if you took that one. So I put 5. Degree level, you didn't do any, you didn't do any degree yet. You don't have a college degree. You're a high school senior, for goodness sakes. Don't worry about specific degree. And your degree date, we're going to try to bypass those things if they let us. You're just signifying that you took something from those schools. Okay, so after that, you're currently officially enrolled at any university. Yes. Check for errors. I put yes because this year I'm taking the CAP class. Okay. And now they're asking for what courses you're taking, college course information, select value, department name, course number. We do have course numbers. Political Science 105 is CAP, is for CAP. Government, the math classes, there's a CAP 171. There are specific numbers. Physics is 107. There are specific numbers for that. So there are those. But that's as far as we're going to go today. The other things they're going to ask on the UW system application, they're going to ask for things like high school courses in progress. You get to know those. Those are a little bit later. Employment, you'll go through that essay we talked about. Residency, I gave you the stumpy questions. They are going to ask for your high school courses in progress, so you do have to be prepared to answer those as well, your senior year high school courses. So that's pretty well it for the UW system application, and that's good because screencasts only go 15 minutes, and we're at 14:20 right now. So we're going to put a wrap on that one, and thank you very much.